That's quite a menu there. Beer, whiskey, two varieties of chem, food, and more beer. You must lead a scintillating life here. Okay, let's go introduce ourselves to Asher. Say hi. We're the new guy, and also we're here to take everything you built for, and give it back to people who actually built it. Hello, and welcome back to the pit. Now, if that ain't screenshot-worthy material, I don't know what is. We're here just outside Haven, where we need to go talk to Lord Asher and bring an end to this. He's been keeping people as slaves to build an empire for really no discernible purpose. He's been leading raiding parties against people from Toronto, the Commonwealth, from the Capital Wasteland, for no purpose that I can see. He has an empire of slaves dedicated to building and to harvesting steel for weapons, apparently. But he doesn't actually go and sell them. Causes untold suffering. He has basically a slave who's been cooked alive inside this sculpture of a tormented human being. I hope he has a good explanation for this, because otherwise we're gonna be putting a lovely bullet through his skull, taking his cure.
For you, Professor.
Yeah, you can shut up. Otherwise, things are not gonna go well for dear Lord Asher. Hello, I'm here to see the boss. I should mention we found that shop between sessions, so we're a bit lighter. Now we can have more room to carry all the loot to carry out.
Lord Asher will be right with you. Feel free to wait inside, champion.
I'm telling you,
Okay.
I've got you covered. I'll be with you right after I maintain some order and dispense a little justice.
Okay, turret there.
You'll follow that up by raising the dead.
No, but I may heal the infirm later in the week. Time permitting, of course.
Sir, we've had sightings of Werner back in the city, and there's been an increase in chatter between slaves.
Workers.
What?
We call them workers. Helps with morale. Reminds them that they might earn their freedom someday.
Whatever we call them, they've been gathering makeshift weapons.
All right, all right. Put your guards on alert. Tell them to be on the lookout for anyone loitering too long downtown. And keep a watch on Medea at all times. Anything big happens, it's bound to go through her. Now, I've got a very important meeting with our new friend. So if anything big comes up, you use the intercom.
Yes, sir.
Okay, break's over.
So here we
Nice
have
work
our
in the
man in a
hole,
room
Blood.
moment.
Knew you couldn't be one of our normal workers. So that begs the question, who are you? And what are you doing in my city?
I could say that, but let's hear him out first. It's complicated. Let's just say I'm new in town and looking for work.
I understand. We've all got a past. And damn few of us have reason to be proud of it. That's all behind you now. In the pit, you'll be part of a growing army, a thriving industry, and maybe even witness to a cure for radiation. But we aren't perfect, and sometimes the past comes back to haunt us. Tell me, do you know a man named Werner?
Yes. Let's be honest. Yeah, he's the one who brought me here.
I appreciate your honesty. It's a rare virtue in this age. Werner was my lieutenant until he betrayed me and escaped justice. And if I know him, he brought you here to steal something very dear to the city. Do you intend to follow through with this plan? Feel free to be honest. Please, don't be intimidated by the turret behind you.
Well, right now... He said your discovery will free the slaves and cure them. How could I say no to that?
Easy enough. You could say no because he lied to you. My discovery is a miracle, but it isn't the type that sets slaves free. Now, it would do a lot more good if you were to...
Lord Asher,
Don't
the
let
slaves
me-
are rioting, and someone's armed
Don't
them.
let me
We
keep
need you out here, and fast.
Don't let... Damn it, I'm on my way. I suggest you forget Werner's offer and consider mine. Stop Werner, and you'll have a bright future in the pit. Don't disappoint me, New Blood.
Alright, let's go find that cure, shall we? Nothing down there. You're not the cure, are you?
Oh, I wasn't expecting Asher to let you into the lab. I'm Sandra, and if I know my husband, he's already made you an offer to join us, right? So you're here to see our little miracle, aren't you? This is my daughter Marie. She can be a handful, but my little angel is going to save the city.
I guess why do you have your daughter in the lab?
Actually, it's a combination lab and nursery. Little Marie needs a lot of attention and care if she's going to cure the city.
She has... Oh, I have a high science score. I know she has a transferable natural immunity.
Well, this is a nice surprise. Apparently you and Asher are the only other people who know anything about science in this place. Yes, it seems that our daughter was born with a naturally acquired immunity to any form of mutation. It's nothing short of a miracle, honestly. I'm still trying to figure out why, but she may just hold the key to stopping the pit's Trog problem. Hell, maybe other types of mutations too.
See, here's the thing. Her ability to resist mutation is itself a mutation. And it's like, if you go back and look at stuff... Like, let's go back to Fallout 2, shall we? Like, you make the argument to that guy in the Enclave oil rig saying, hey, mutation can be a good thing. It's like, yeah, sometimes it leads to personal disaster, but if you look at the Brahmin or the mutated humans of Fallout 2, they're surviving better than the Enclave did. Better than non-mutated. It's like mutation can be a good thing. But regardless of that, aren't you worried about hurting her?
Oh no, these tests are perfectly safe. In fact, between the crib and her uncanny health, she's probably the safest child in the world. Asher and I would never risk her health. And if that means it takes longer to develop a full cure, then, well, everyone else can wait.
It's a little bit selfish. I mean, if everyone... Normally I understand everyone else can wait because it's my child and I'm not going to risk her. But you're also holding slaves hostage while you're doing that. Yeah, the slaves don't really have time to wait for a cure. Still, let's not directly say, I'm taking your child to the child's mother. Just let me know, alright?
You're a dear, but things are well in hand here. If you really want to help, you should probably go deal with whatever had Asher rushing off in such a hurry. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to take care of one last test before Marie's nap time.
Okay. I think we need to process some things. So, Werner has lied to us. Has lied to us from the beginning. He said he was interested in the slaves, and thinking back on his behavior, it's pretty obvious that that was a lie. I mean,
How are you?
think back to how he thought to how he. Let's try this again one more time with my mouth working this time. When we went to go save the slaves from the slave holding cell, he didn't care. He just said, "Okay, go get an outfit so you can disguise yourself coming in." He's made no steps to save the people. On the other hand, you have Asher, who is kidnapping and forcing slaves to work here in this pit for no discernible reason. But I mean, Asher wants us to kidnap this kid. I mean, Werner wants us to kidnap this kid so he can try to free the slaves, he says. But he also lied to us about him being a former slave, about him... He left out that little detail of, oh, sorry, I'm Asher's lieutenant. Or, I was Asher's lieutenant who tried to steal power and then got made a slave for it. Oh, nothing. I'm just pontificating right now. I mean, on the one hand, Asher is obviously evil. I mean, even if you... How do I want to put this? He's working to rebuild a flawed ideal. He's working to rebuild this city. But this city is a bad place that shouldn't be rebuilt. I mean, it's a hostile environment. You have an environment where people get sick just being near it. Where it's covered in radiation, where people can't live. It's like, yes, it's a good idea to rebuild a city, but if the only reason you're building the city is for the steel mills, then find a place with steel mills that aren't horribly irradiated. Like, you can build a city, but not here. And that's what really gets me about the pit, is that there's no options. Either you steal the kid, and you help the slaves, which does absolutely nothing, or you don't steal the kid, and you help the raiders, and things continue as they are. There's no change. There's no option to say, hey, Asher, how about you stop being a dick? How about you free the slaves? And how about you, I don't know, let's move somewhere else. And there's no option to say, hey, Werner, can I speech check you into telling me who you are and why you're actually doing this? Because from what I'm seeing, it looks a lot like what Werner wants is to just be the one in charge. To keep things like they are. To keep the slaves here, to keep the slaves working, but to do it in a way that makes it so that he's in charge instead of Asher.
Mind yourself in Lord Asher's home.
It's like, of the two options, I think I'm going to side with Asher, just because Asher actually has a chance of bringing about this cure, whereas Werner has himself and Medea and no real science staff. Which I hate. Because I don't want to side with the Raiders. Sure, this is a terrible choice to make. And initially, it's one of the things that actually drew me to the pit, which is what I liked about it, is that there was an actual gray decision. The problem is, how do I want to put this? This DLC forces you into making a gray decision when there should be more options. It's a false dichotomy between either you're free or you're not. I mean, either you help the raiders or you help the slaves. Was that a missile launcher? Oh, hell, we have slaves. I really don't want to kill them. Alright, let's go find Werner. It's like probably a good place to start is Medea, right? Bloody hell! I hate the choice we're forced into, because it's just so unnecessary. Like, if there should be an option to say, you know, nobody lives here. Like, I'm gonna nuke the pit. I'm gonna make it so that you don't want to force my hand here. There should be an option to convince Asher and Werner to say, sorry, you can't live here because the city is inherently hostile. There should be an option to say, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to force you to work together. I'm going to hold the baby hostage from both of you unless you do what I say. But instead we're given two options. Well, 2.5, which is basically one option is you take the baby, but then don't give it to Werner.
We've had enough!
Alright, Medea. I guess it comes to this, doesn't it? So, you, didn't mention it's a baby.
So, I suppose you signed on with Asher and his kind, did you? You're not the first to win their freedom and forget where they came from.
Did you know the cure is actually a baby?
Of course I knew, you dolt. I also know it's the only chance we had of finding a cure and ransoming our freedom. If they ever find a cure, do you think they'll share it with us? Of course not. Why waste medicine on people you'll just work to death anyway?
Look, Werner is... How do I say this? Werner is risking what he's fighting for by doing this. If I can stop him, I can try to arrange better conditions for you all.
Fine. If it'll get you out of the way, go check under the blast furnace in the steel yard. Look for a rooftop door in the southwest. It's got a blue light, you can't miss it. But Werner will put you in your place.
Yeah, I'm through talking to you.
Watch your back out there.
It's like, there are so many more options than this DLC gives you. You could say, screw it, this place doesn't work, nuke the pit, get everyone out. You could say, okay, I believe in the promise this place has, so I'm going to work to make sure it comes to pass. There's the, I'm going to take over from Asher, but keep the slaves. It's like, it just kills you that there's so few options given to you as a player to actually affect this. Okay, we need to get through here. Let's get to the mill. I'm just gonna ignore you because you can't actually hurt me, and I'm faster than you are anyway.
Get out of here, sellout.
I will do that. It just kills me inside. It's like, I hate making this choice. I hate being the one to say, yeah, sorry, Asher's kind of right. Or, no, Asher's deliberately... Asher is quite certainly in the wrong. Is that... Asher is forcing people to live where they shouldn't be forced to live. He's trying to build a city where there should be no city. Where there's no possibility of life. Like, if you need to make it... If you need to develop a cure for the
Move along, please.
I think Oxford put it best. Says, if you develop an immunity, let's say that you develop an ability to breathe underwater, and you say, hey, that's good, I can build a city underwater. That's good, you can do that on your own. You and the people who can breathe underwater can live underwater. But if you then turn around and say, well, I can breathe underwater, so in order to build this city, I'm going to kidnap hundreds of other people and bring them down underwater and force them to drown here so they can help me build my city. That's where you stop having any justification. It's like, Asher is wrong. At the same time, Werner is also wrong because he's going to keep doing the same thing. It's going to be the same city, the same effort to rebuild, in the same bloody, stupid, inhospitable environment. And so, given the choice between two people who are going to do the same thing in the same place, I'm going to choose the one who actually has a chance of achieving it, instead of the one who has basically Medea. So, Werner.
Ah, you finally made it. I've got everything ready, and there are plenty of tests to run, so hurry up and put the... Wait, where's the cure? Did you lose it? Where is that little bastard?
Yeah, Asher kinda knows everything.
And you just went along with him, did you? To hell with everyone else but you, huh? Here I thought that you, of all people, would understand that sometimes you have to get your hands dirty to make a difference. But you're just a coward, afraid of making a choice, afraid of changing the world.
Tell me this. Did you try to free the slaves when you were Asher's lieutenant? Did you try to free the slaves when you tried to kill Asher to try to take his place? Were you trying to free the slaves when you got caught and made a slave yourself, or was it after? Was it only after that you said, "Oh crap! Now I'm a slave. I should free the slaves too." Werner, you suck. You're doing a blatant power grab and using me as a pawn. Like, this isn't about the slaves. This isn't about freedom. This is about you having control of the pit. Yeah. And just as once, I'm not going to take the obvious speech option. There's no other option. Goodbye.
You're just gonna be their tool right up to the bloody end, aren't you? Bye-bye, tool.
Bye-bye, fool. Well, that was fun. Oh hell! If he does that, can I still get the keys off his body? Yes, there we go. I really hate the choices DLC forces on you. It's a morally great choice, but one that doesn't need to happen. I wish I had more options with this DLC. Like that there was a mod to say, yeah, maybe let's not force the player into a mutually dichotomous moral choice where both sides are bad because the player is stupid. Anyway, let's go back to Asher. Tell him the job is done. And tell him that you better bloody well justify my trust in you. That if you don't, I'm coming back. And this time I'm not gonna be dissuaded by 5 guys with lead freaking pipes. Sorry, Jess, I'm so angry about this DLC that my mouth isn't working right now. It's like, Charlie, there's a real element of self-hate right now. It's like, what if we hadn't? What if we had freed the slaves? What then? We don't know what would have happened.
Please.
I, as a player, know that it would just become, congratulations, you're now the new Lord of the Pit. But it's just, ugh, hate this.
Asher's new pet is looking for a feeding.
Look, you guys don't want to do this. And now the ash piles are below there. I suppose it makes sense. Okay, Asher. Here we come, I suppose. I suppose there might be a third option, though. Let's go talk to Asher and then murder everyone. I mean, the Brotherhood did it once before. They did the Purge. I mean, if that's my option, is to say, if Asher lives, he keeps kidnapping slaves and keeps bringing them here, then I might go on a purge of my own. Just say, yeah, screw you all. You're not allowed here. You're all gonna die. Yeah, I like this option.
Damn, I'm glad you're on our side, meathead.
I'm not. Hell, that's a third option. It's like, here's the thing. The baby having a cure for radiation is a good thing. It's like if you can make it so that humans can live without worrying about radiation or mutation, that's a good thing. I mean, I could see it either way. Shut the hell up. I'm not interested in talking to you. I'm having a bad day. I'm hating myself. I'm hating the situation. There's a third option. It's like, hey, here's this kid who could be a cure for radiation mutation. We could steal it and not give it to Asher's to say, hey, you're a loony, you're living in the pit. You're trying to build a city where there shouldn't be one. You could then turn around and say, I'm not giving it to Werner. It's like, you're a loony, you're a power hungry maniac who's trying to steal control of the frickin' pit. I'm going to murder your face off. I'm going to murder your face off right now. Screw you. You could say, hey, how about instead of giving it to the 2 power-hungry lunatics who both want control of the city that nobody should live in, how about we take it back to the Capital Wasteland? How about we give the kid to the Brotherhood, have it raised there? Or how about we give it to, I don't know, Madison Lee, an actual scientist? How's that for an option? So, I think we have a new plan of action. Asher!
I knew I could trust you.
You can't.
And I wasn't disappointed. Werner's been stopped. The workers are returning to their rightful place. The pit has a bright future ahead of it. And so do you.
Okay, you have one chance to justify yourself. What is the city's future according to you?
Now that Marie's back, we have a chance at curing the disease that's been ravaging the pit since the bombs. Without it killing our kids, we can grow like a real city. No more bringing in slaves. No more forced labor. Things can get better. It's taken me a lot of work to rebuild this city. With your help, it's finally going to have a chance.
Here's the thing. How do I want to say this? It's again, you should if you need to force people to work here to live in the city, it's forever going to be a raider city. It's like you can't just say, okay, we'll force people to work here until we have a cure, and then we'll let them grow naturally because they'll totally stay here. You're forcing them to stay here by basically force of arms. You're building a raider force whose main job is to go out and kill people for their things. There's no farming here. There's no growth. There's no trade. This city has no future. And what about the workers?
Right now, nothing. Until we can reproduce a treatment from Marie, they'll have to keep working. Otherwise, this city falls apart. But once we do have a cure, things will be different. We won't need to kidnap people for our city. We'll be able to grow naturally. Until then, this is the way it has to be. It's just what has to be done.
No, it's not. It's not the way it has to be. It's not the way things have to be done. Another way is to just leave the city. It's killing people. Don't live here. Don't kidnap people to force them to build your city. Like, you are an egotistical maniac who's trying to force people to build your dream. And hey, if you want to sit here and build your dream and die in a poisonous city, good for you. You do that. The instant you start trying to kill people, trying to force people to build your dream for you, you become a tyrant. You become part of you is just saying if he can do it, if he can do it, this is worth the sacrifice. But if he can't, then that's thousands of lives lost. That's thousands of lives lost already. That's the slave trade in the Capital Wasteland, in Ronto, in the Commonwealth, or I don't know about those places, but definitely in the Capital Wasteland. You are ruining hundreds of thousands of lives for this vision of yours. Alright, let's ask about the reward first.
You've kept the city in one piece and put a stop to Werner's plans. Yeah, I guess you've earned one. As a full citizen of the pit, you'll have full access to the ammo press in the mill. It's how I keep my soldiers well armed. So make good use of it. And I think Sandra's made some progress with the cure. So here's a little something to help with radiation.
Medical research from the pit has improved your life. Just try not to think of what it may have cost others. So, what now, huh?
That's up to you. We'll keep working on the cure and keep the city running. You're free to come and go as you like. Of course, you can help out at the mill by collecting metal from the steel yard. It helped lighten the load on the workers.
I already did that.
And if you want to work on Sandra's good side, you can always bring her toys for Marie. It's a little thing, but it'd make a difference.
So, you have power armor, huh?
This thing? It's a relic from my time with the Brotherhood of Steel decades ago. It's been through so much that they'd hardly recognize it as one of theirs. A little like me, come to think of it.
Do you miss the Brotherhood of Steel ever?
Not in the slightest. During the Scourge, we looted the pit and left the rest of it to rot. I was just a dumb convert who got stuck here afterwards. See, beneath it all, the Brotherhood's just lazy. It's easier to loot a dying city than to work to bring it back to life. So that's what they did. They're so obsessed with the technology of the past, they don't care what needs to be done for today and tomorrow. It takes real hard work to rebuild and run a city. But there isn't a machine to do it for them, So the Brotherhood isn't interested. Good riddance.
Yeah, we're gonna go now.
Walk proud. You're an ambassador of the Pit.
I might shoot you just for saying that.
Looks as friendly as you.
Can we just, out of curiosity, can we take the baby now? No. See, that was my plan, is to steal the baby, give it to Madison Lee, kill everyone here. And now I have to decide, do I kill them all? I think that is the best answer. It's like, without Asher, this place falls apart. It falls back into raiding. It falls back into chaos and disorder. So, Sandra, you get to live. I suggest you take your baby, bring her with you, leave the pit, find a new home, find the Brotherhood of Steel, find somewhere else that isn't an irradiated hellhole. And we'll do... well, I guess we'll do what we have to do. What has to be done. And honestly, I can't say I won't enjoy it. So, Lord Death visited the pit. We've left only a few alive. Some few slaves who didn't immediately attack us and who don't seem to have noticed the change. I'm sure that eventually they'll discover that they're free to leave. At least that's my hope. But no raiders, no Trog, no wild men shall ever infest this city again. I destroyed them one by one. Every single raider. Sandra, I've left with her child. I hope that one day she may forgive me and even see that what I did was right. For now, though, it's time to head home and try to forget what I've done.
I don't want to set the world on fire.